So I realized that I never shared my testimony on here on how I gotten saved. I was drinking, smoking, cursing, fornicating, everything in the book. And I knew of God, but I didn't know anything about him. And then one night on November 25th, 2023, God gave me a vision. And in this dream, I had a dream of my home right now. And in the home was dark. There was windows, but no sunlight was penetrating through the windows, and I felt alone. And I walk into the living room, and I start crying because it felt like the separation of God. And I heard this loud voice coming from the other room. And the best way I can explain this voice was towers falling and crashing onto the floor and all of that vibration entering your body. And I knew that it was God, and he was asking me, why do I live this life when I know that he is the truth? Why do I do these things when I know that he is real? He kept asking me, why? And I said, I don't know. And then he screamed at me and he said, why? The floors are marble. The marble shook and my knees collapsed on the floor. And I'm like this in the dream. And I say, I don't know. Lord, forgive me for my sins. And I look up, and when I look up, everything was normal. I see people walking in the front door with foods of tray. It was Thanksgiving. A little backstory. I had fear of God. Not fear to get close, but fear to get far. And so my dad walks out the room, grab my dad's hands, and I tell him, Dad, God saved my life. He saved me. I am cleansed. I am washed. And my dad's hands started shaking in mine. And they began to shake so vigorously that my whole body is shaking. And his face starts warping and changing. And I knew that it was a demon. But not just that. I knew that it was a demon that caused that fear of separation from God. And so I'm asking the Lord in my mind, what do I do? What do I say? How do I get out of this? And the Lord told me to say, I am washed by the blood of the Lamb. Dude, I was like taken out of that dream and I woke up. Before I was taken out the dream, that devil grabbed me by my hips. So when I woke up, I felt burning sensation on my hips and I started crying. So the first time reading the Bible, the first time reading a verse, the one thing that pops out to me is Jonah 2:9. But as for me, I will sacrifice to you with the voice of thanksgiving. The vision was Thanksgiving. The day was Thanksgiving. And the first time I read my Bible, Thanksgiving. I knew, bro, that God was real. And since then, I've been saved for 3 years. He's a good God, man. He's a good God. He's compassionate in all ways and understands you. He knows your heart better than you know it. So I recommend anybody who is going through something or like struggling through something, like truthfully come to God, because there's nothing or no one that can take it away but God.